just go through it again. So there are natural formation of carbon monoxide, which is like through CH4. It reacts with OH radical and gives CH3 uh, radical, and H2O CH3 radical is highly reactive. All the organic or hydrocarbon radicals are very reactive. They cannot remain in the atmosphere for a long time. And one is one of the among not among this, but we know that OH radical is one of the most important and radical, which is actually responsible for many reactions in the atmosphere and formation of various compounds. So, and there is no estimation of OH radical in the atmosphere. Till now, I did not find any paper where OH radical estimation over India or any specific place is given. But the chemistry, like in atmospheric chemistry, OH radical has very important role. This is what I want to say, because all the secondary compound formation needs high or you can say oxidants, right? And ozone, OH radical. These are the you can say molecules which provide the oxygen to reactive species and participate in oxidation reaction. So CH3 radical reacts with O2 in presence of light, forms CO, H2 and OH radical again, and this is a kind of chain reaction. So anthropogenic sources, carbon monoxide is one of the tracer of any kind of combustion, because it can, among anthropogenic activity, it can only come from burning of some fuel. It cannot, like for example, methane can be even emitted during the decomposition process of the waste, right? But CO will not be emitted in such a way. uh, when you burn any kind of fuel, including fossil fuel or biomass fuel, then you will get CO. Definitely the CO would be there. So it is a tracer of combustion. The sink of CO, sink means how it gets out from the atmosphere, reaction with hydroxyl radical to form CO2. That is one thing. Again, there is another reaction where reacts with OH radical and forms CO2. Removal by soil microorganism. So these are the sink, but in the presence of anthropogenic sources, this sink is not enough to get rid of all the CO in the atmosphere. CO is very toxic, like exceeding 5,000 ppm, it will have very toxic effect on human being. CO reacts with hemoglobin and form carboxy hemoglobin, and hemoglobin has higher affinity to CO than O2. So it replaces the oxygen from the blood, and formation of COHB, which is hemoglobin. We started the recording? Sorry. Okay, somebody has started. Okay, sorry. Okay, so formation of COHB effectively deprives the body of oxygen. 5 to 10% CO visual perception, manual dexterity, and ability to learn are impaired. So these are the effect of CO on human health. A concentration of 50 ppm of CO for 8 hours will result in COHB level of about 7.5% in blood. Average concentration of CO inhaled in cigarette is about 200 to 400 ppm, which is very dangerous. Now this is, see, oh God. So we know about the CO, how dangerous it is. Now, if we need to know what is the concentration of CO over the globe, So here you can see the picture where the global concentration from a satellite data is given on the top left hand side, and CO emission is, or CO concentration is very high over India, China, Southeast Asia and East Asia, and some part of Africa. And because even the northern part of Australia is showing high CO. Um, so these are like means because it is related to combustion. This says that there is a anthropogenic activity in these area where high CO are observed. And now, what are those anthropogenic activity and how they are emitting and how much they are emitting the CO? So here you can see on the bottom of this same figure, the we will go from right to left, which is East Asia to South America. Just see the legend. So yellow one is industry, bright blue is residential and commercial sector, pink is transportation sector, green is agricultural, and orange is biofire. So mainly in all these figure you will see the dominance of industry, residential and commercial sector, transportation sector, and biofire, right? And when you go from east, which is like East Asia, which is China, towards the South America, right? You will find in East Asia industry and residential and commercial um, fires are responsible for large amount of CO, which is more than 75% of CO emissions. While in Southeast Asia, where India comes, right, in this part you will see the residential and commercial, transportation, and industry. All these three sectors are responsible for more than 75% of CO, right? And then towards the Africa and Eastern Africa, biofires, which is like forest fire or grassland fire, are main contributor. While in developed countries, which is Europe and America, basically transportation and sometime biofire. Like biofire also has a significant role, but transportation is the main contributor. In South America, biomass burning is main contributor. Half of the biomass biofire means forest fire is main contributor. Half of the total emission is from forest fire, and then almost 30 to 40%, around 30% is from biomass, the industrial sector, and similar from the transport sector. So what we can see, uh, in developed countries, fossil fuel are the main contributor to CO, while in developing countries, along with the industries which uses the fossil fuel, the biomass combustion in residential sector plays a greater role. Still in developing countries, there is a limited access to LPG. Though the people have LPG in rural area, for example, our recent survey have shown that even in rural India, they have the LPG, but they don't use it because it's a costly fuel compared to a cost-free excess of wood, dung cake, and crop residue after harvest. So they prefer the cost-free fuel over the costly LPG. So that is something. It's a social, you can say, setup, or means though maybe it is because there is a less awareness about the health effect of air pollution, or maybe it is just economical reason, or maybe combining both. So the reason could be whatever, but this because of this problem there is a huge you can say global burden or burden of disease over Indian cities and rural area have been observed. Now, CO estimate was global estimate was 888 teragram, and this in the value in bracket is 95% confidence interval, which is like lowest estimate could be 745 and highest could be 1130. Whatever the, as I said, anthropogenic activities are major contributor, and it is like 68% of total CO is emitted from anthropogenic sources, while wildfire and deforestation gives like just 32% of total CO. Now, the bottom figure on the right hand side, you can see the contribution from different sector is given, but the historical data is depicted, right? So, what do you think? What just focus on transportation sector, which is bright blue. What is the reason of um, you can say horizontal um, or like study emission during 1980, probably from 1980 to 2007 or 8? What do you think? What would be the reason? Can anybody say? Can anybody think about that? What would be the reason?
Increase in population.
If population is increasing continuously,
Ma'am, low fuel prices
low fuel prices, okay, and other reason.
and international aviation boom.
Okay, so we are talking about
Increase
that
in
part.
industrialization.
That part. 1 minute. We are talking about the flat part when CO did not increase during 1980 to 2007. So boom of aviation will increase the CO, right? Hmm? Is that correct?
Ma'am, we are talking about transportation, right?
Yeah. So transportation blue one, where during 1980 to 2007, you can see it's like a steady kind of chart, right? It's not increasing much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm talking about that. So it increased very rapidly during the earlier 1960 to 1980 because there was a introduction of different vehicles and aviation. All those things were there, and the use of these new technology was in boom. So during 1960 to 1980, it increased very rapidly. Then after that, there is a you can say constant or not constant but not much variation. Okay, so I will tell you why is this so. In 1980s onward, the regulation related to transport sector was implemented in many countries, and uh, after treatment device, which is like which can convert the harmful gases to inert gases. For example, NO2 to N2 and O2, CO2, CO2, all kind of after treatment devices were being used. So that is why the implementation of regulation in developed countries, because we can see, transportation sector, uh, which is transportation sector in here. Okay, so don't confuse with these two figure. Here transportation was pink, but on the right hand side the figure shows the transportation with blue. Okay, so you can see the pink on the left hand side is high in developed countries, Europe and America, North America, right? So during like after 1980 in these developed countries, the regulation implemented, and that caused reduction, or you can say that actually controlled the emission of CO from from these country. Okay, so that was the reason. So I have two questions for you. You can just try to find it out. Find out the concentration of CO over Australia during recent forest fire. When was the recent forest fire?
Last year,
Yeah.
2020.
Yes, yes, yes. So just find out what was the concentration of CO over Australia during that recent forest fire. When does the implementation of regulation of transport sector impose? So I have already told you 1980, but just find out what were the regulation. What was the act related to transportation sector CO control or emission control? Okay, you can find out for America and Europe. Okay, no nitrogen dioxide. Nitrogen dioxide, which is NO2, we know. Um, it reacts. It can also come from natural sources and anthropogenic sources, both as other pollutant also. So bacterial action in soil release nitrous oxide N2O, which reacts with O, right, oxygen, nascent oxygen, and form 2NO, while NO plus O3, again the ozone play an important role because it's a very strong oxidant. So NO plus O3 gives NO2 plus O2. Okay, globally, 0.45 petagram per year NO2 is produced by natural process. Um, Anthropogenic sources, combustion sources account for 96% of the nitrogen, okay, nitrogen dioxide. So again, the anthropogenic sources are culprit in increase of this pollutant in the atmosphere. In the atmosphere, N2 plus N2 and O2, they do not react because nitrogen and oxygen is present. They are present in the atmosphere, but they don't react at normal temperature. They react at very high temperature and they form NO, right? And NO again, O3 plays a role to oxidize NO to NO2. So generally NO2 minus, NO3 minus, these are the you can say ions which are responsible for, which are the, you can say, the precursor of aerosol or precursor of particulate matter during like aqueous phase reaction or photochemical reaction. They form the particles, ammonium nitrate, ammonium sulfate forms from SO2, but ammonium nitrate is one of the form of particulate matter which is the secondary particulate matter. Now NO2 hotspot. So this figure shows you NO2 hotspot. Yeah, this figure I have taken from some NASA website. You can see, find this figure in their website. So hotspot over different parts. You can see the coal is most like large amount of fuel burnt over Indian region, and then there is a NOx from that. Okay, so see, I don't know. I have a certain reservation in saying this sentence because coal, yes, coal is burned in different part of India, but generally in power plants. So probably this hot spot, whatever is shown in India, is like the places where power plants, thermal power plants are located. However, in general, if you see the total uh, contribution of coal in Indian energy consumption, then coal is not a major contributor to total energy consumption. You can find out this from the various papers from Indian region. Basically, the paper published by Chandra Venkatraman's group from IIT Bombay. I showed, I think, one energy related diagram in last class. Maybe that diagram will also have coal. I don't remember exactly. So coal, though coal is a is something related to NO2 hotspot, but this particular fuel is mostly used in thermal power plant. There is no use of coal as such in residential sector except in West Bengal region. um, and The major fuel type which contribute to total energy consumption in India is biomass fuel and fossil fuel. Biomass fuel means wood, dung cake and crop waste, and fossil fuel means diesel and petrol. So NO2 concentration in tobacco smoke is 5 ppm. Anything over 5 ppm or 5 ppm actually harmful because it cause cough, irritation, and respiratory tract. Delhi NCR in Delhi NCR, Sonbhadra Delhi NCR, Sonbhadra in Uttar Pradesh, Singrauli in Madhya Pradesh, Angul in Odisha are identified as hot spot in India. But there are other cities also. Wherever the thermal power plant would be, this will happen. So I think it is good if you can just go through the Google search and find out how many thermal power plants are there in India, and what are the capacity of those plant, and what is the NOx emission from that. So that information would be available very readily on internet. So just find that out. Photochemical smoke, we have already learned about the photochemical smoke, because but just one thing which I would like to mention here is, uh, again, the ozone is the strong oxidant or principal oxidant which plays role in photochemical smoke formation. And hydrocarbons, which are free radical of hydrocarbons, are responsible for this photochemical smoke formation, because they are highly reactive. They cannot remain in the atmosphere as a radicals, and they react with NO, NO2, and even O3, and they form the photochemical smoke. So now I have a question for you. Um, Name at least three, or name the three photochemical smoke compounds, um, means organic compounds, okay, which form during photochemical smoke, okay. So that you can search and you can find out. Sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide basically, um, it can also come from natural sources, but in general, power plant, industry, volcano, and ocean emit SO2, SO3, SO4. So ocean, I told you that ocean emits SO2 as well as DMS, dimethyl sulfide is one of the compound that comes from the ocean. And biological decay process and some industrial sources emit H2S, which is oxidized to form SO2. Approximately 0.125 petagram sulfur is emitted from natural sources, while 0.045 petagram of sulfur is emitted from anthropogenic source. Here it's a opposite, right? The natural source emit more sulfur than anthropogenic source. But what was the sulfur dioxide emission before reduction of sulfur in fossil fuel? That is the question. What was that? How much sulfur dioxide has been reduced by controlling the sulfur content of diesel and gasoline fuel, or oil you can say, okay. That is something we need to be aware of, and you can find that out. H2S plus O3, that gives you H2O and SO2, and then S plus O2 SO2, right? So these are the reaction which happens in the atmosphere. So just note down the questions I have told you, Try to find out the answer. Okay. See, other things I have already given in the presentation. You need to just you can say gather some more information related to the course. Okay, so also see what is the sulfur content of the Indian coal and what is the sulfur content of the American coal. That is something very interesting because in it says like sulfur content in Indian coal is less than the sulfur content in American coal, and that is why. But that is why the sulfur dioxide emission from India is not. It is though means I don't remember the exact you can say amount, but comparatively the sulfur dioxide emission in India from thermal power plant is less compared to what it could be from like burning of American coal in thermal power plant. So okay, fate of SO2. How the SO2 get removed from the atmosphere? Two major routes are catalytic oxidation and photochemical oxidation. So catalytic oxidation, SO2 reacts with this is aqueous phase reaction actually, 2H2O plus O2 and form H2SO4, and this H2SO4 can can be scavenged from the atmosphere during rain, which is also known as acid rain, or if ammonia is present, then it can be converted to ammonium sulfate, which is the aerosol. So H2SO4 is a liquid, um, but ammonium sulfate is a liquid particle. So H2SO4 can come out. It's like you can say it can dissolve in the water present in the atmosphere, and it can rain with it can rain with the water when there is a precipitation. Then SO2 in the presence of sunlight can also form SO2 radical, and then this SO2 radical is reactive. It can form SO3 plus H2O, again H2SO4. So this is the photochemical pathway of H2SO4 formation. The reaction is responsible for acid rain. pH is less than 5.6. Normal rain pH is 5.6 due to carbonate buffer. So नॉर्मल रेन का पीएच 5.6 होता है क्योंकि उसमें कार्बोनेट बफर होते हैं अदरवाइज if H2SO4 is present then it would be less than 5.6. So acid rain reaction I have already shown here, but this is like nitric acid could also be present as in acid rain, and so SO2 how OH radical and O2 both can can react with SO2 and give H2SO4. All these reactions are very clear. I am not going through it again. Okay. Acid deposition. The problem with acid deposition after acid rain, you will find that there is a uh, destruction of forest because it seems like they are burned. Um, there are other problems. Thin-shelled eggs prevent bird reproduction. Forest decline. So this is the common problem which have been observed during the acid rain. Greenhouse gas effect. Okay, what is the greenhouse? Okay, already it's written here. Unlike ozone, CO2 is a transparent to short wave UV. Okay, so CO2 it allows the short wave radiation, ultraviolet radiation to pass through the atmosphere. It observe and emit long wave radiation. So this is the property of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, that they emit and they absorb and emit both long wave radiation. So long wave radiation is has less energy compared to shortwave radiation. But if the gases are absorbing the long wave radiation, that means it will slowly increase the temperature near the ground, right? So this is what this is known as the greenhouse gas effect. From the analysis of air trapped in the ice core in Greenland and Antarctica, the pre-industrial level of CO2 was determined as 280 ppm. So pre-industrial level of CO2 was 280 ppm. Nowadays, if you will see the background CO2, it would be around 400 450 ppm. So it's around 40 to 50% increase in CO2 after industrialization. Other gases contribute to greenhouse gas effect are methane, N2O, and chlorofluorocarbon. Rainforest can absorb 1 to 2 kg carbon per meter square per year. So the only sink of CO2 basically is absorption of CO2 by forest, uh, or absorption of CO2 by sea, ocean, and sometime the concrete structure um, also absorbs CO2. So this is the area of research which is ongoing, and how to reduce the CO2 by absorbing the CO2 in different like large things like ocean, or you can say by like increasing the plantation forest area and so on. Crop field can only, oh, and one more thing, the CO2 has longer life than CH4 and others, right? We have seen the lifetime of different pollutant in last class, and because it has longer life, it can be transported continentally from one continent to another or over the globe. Crop field can only absorb zero point 0.2 to zero point 0.4 kg carbon per meter square per year. So, like, forests are more efficient in absorbing the carbon. So, this is the last slide. I will upload the slide today, all the three lectures. And do you have any question? Any question? No question? So I think you have logged in and went away, or are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, we are there.
Yes, ma'am.
How many
Yes,
of
ma'am.
you are there? Everybody is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Good.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
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 Akshat,
Yes, ma'am.
Akshat
Yes,
Bajpayee.
ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So you are raising your hand. Okay, you are there. Okay, fine. So is there any question related to whatever we have learned? Okay. So your assignment, did I give you the schedule when assignment will be given, the date, anything I
No,
have?
ma'am. No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No.
I will put the schedule also. Okay. When will you get the first assignment and second assignment? Quizzes are surprise, so you can have quiz anytime. So I will not announce the date. Okay, fine. So
Yes,
next
ma'am.
time we will learn about, let me just see what I have in the next slide. I think I have, yeah, air pollution meteorology. So we will start air pollution meteorology, and then last would be the air pollution control technology. Okay, so two lectures are there for related to air pollution. So I think maybe in 2 to 3 class we will complete the air pollution. Then 1 or 2 class we will take the solid waste.
Also,
Okay.
tomorrow is there a class?
Yes, it's a Wednesday, right? So tomorrow you have class, and Friday Friday probably I will let you know because I have to go somewhere. If I would have the internet available over there, then I will announce the class. Otherwise, probably I will say no. So until I announce it, don't assume that there is no class. Okay?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, what will be the format of the quiz?
Quiz with would be objective type.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Ma'am,
you.
one second.
Yes.
Uh, I have joined this in the ad drop phase on 12th, so my last classes have been missed. So what to do with them, like for the attendance policy?
Don't worry about that. Only means you will have like 5 marks if you will have like greater than 70% attendance, right? This is what I announced now.
Okay,
So don't worry about that. So
okay,
just make sure that you will not miss any class from day onward. This day onward, you can see. Okay.
okay.
Okay. Is there any other question?
Ma'am, all the quizzes will be announced, or there will
They
be some
will not
surprise
be
quiz
announced.
also?
They are surprise quiz. They will not be announced.
Sure. Thank
And
you.
the student who will have the attendance greater than 90% will have the choice of best quiz. Otherwise, it's an average of two quiz.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So, is there any topic related to air pollution you think we can discuss? Anybody?
Ma'am, the November pollution of in the Ganga Valley area. Do you?
Okay, the post monsoon pollution
Yes, ma'am.
in Indo-Gangetic Plain.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so the post monsoon, which starts from like October, November, and sometime December also considered as a post monsoon season in according to IMD, Indian Meteorological Department, and January, February is considered as winter. So in October, November, and December, generally after harvesting period, there is a burning of remained residue on field, and that cause emission of NOx and other VOCs and PM, black carbon, etc. This pollutant, along with the primary pollutant, means particulate matter, black carbon, there and organic carbon. There is a secondary formation of organic carbon, secondary organic aerosol. There is a formation of ammonium nitrate, ammonium chloride, etc. So what actually ammonia is something which is related, which can be emitted from dairies, right? Any dairy as well as sewage treatment or sewage plant or stagnation of sewage or stagnation of you can say solid waste. So ammonia is very readily available everywhere in Delhi NCR, right? So once this NOx, SOx, or you can say VOC, they are transported from other places towards Delhi and other Indo-Gangetic. Delhi is on the northern side of IGP, while Kanpur and even West Bengal, the some part of the West Bengal region are on the southern part of the IGP. So in this area, when this plume come and it crosses the IGP, various reactions takes place, and basically during October, November, it's a sunny days, and the solar energy is available for photochemical reaction. Humidity is enough to have the aqueous phase reaction, especially during night time. So both reactions takes place during this season and gives rise to secondary pollutant formation. So that is very, you can say, uh, very, what do you say? Now it is very well understood, you can say, right? Very well understood phenomena that whatever IGP gets during post monsoon season is because of secondary formation of some of the pollutants, basically ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate, some secondary organic aerosol, etc. So yeah, and you can find many papers on them. One of the paper from our group was, there are few recent papers also, Gunny et al. 2020, Gunny et al. 2019. That is with UT Austin group. We have a real-time aerosol speciation monitor installed in IIT Delhi, and like 2 to 3 year now it's a more than 3 years data is available, and two papers from this campaign are out, but I think four papers from this campaign are out, and they are mostly in atmospheric physics and chemistry, ACP, chemistry and physics, atmospheric chemistry and physics, which is very good journal. It has high impact factor around 5 or 6. And the oldest paper we had in this issue was published in 2016-17, which was which actually addresses the source contribution of various source contribution to PM 2.5 over Delhi. So in that also we discuss the chemistry of sulfate and nitrate formation. Yeah, so it's well known now. Any other question? What do you think? What is the relation between air pollution and COVID? Is there any role air pollution plays in spread of COVID virus? Anybody tried to find out that, or okay?
More the pollution, more the spread will be. Like because the suspended particles will be more in the atmosphere. So it will help the virus
Exactly
to
what we
be.
expect. That is what we expect. Is there any study that says like the particulate matter are um, responsible for transition of or transport of this virus from one place to another? Is there any paper? Have you seen that paper? Yeah, that's true. Whatever you are saying is, I can say we expect that particulate matter is there. It can provide the surface to virus, and therefore the transport of virus from one place to another may take place. But is there any finding, any paper? Can you see that paper? Okay, try to find out the paper. And if you are interested, um, you can think about some kind of new, you can say, scientific argument related to this. Okay. Any other question?
Ma'am, does air pollution degrade the lining of the lungs?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ma'am, so that might help the virus to like attach in the lungs and proliferate.
Yes, yeah, that can happen if the lung is weak, maybe, and that is what is being seen, right? If somebody is already having some health issue, then the COVID affected them more than a healthy individual, right? So you are right, but I think all these issues are there, but the research or the papers related to these issues are not available. Yes, I agree with you, but I think there should be some data to support that, or to. So I'm just searching through my Google, and I found a paper, Air Pollution and COVID-19, the role of particulate matter in the spread and increase of COVID-19, morbidity and mortality. So I think this paper would be very interesting paper. If you want, I can upload this paper. But first I will go through the paper, then I will think like if I should upload it or not, because I do not want you to have a very uh, complicated paper, right? So let me just see how this paper describes this hypothesis and prove it. Okay, so the paper is available. One paper I have found. But yeah, so I think there are many papers which talks about the reduction in pollution due to lockdown during COVID-19. I have seen many papers from China, from India. I downloaded one paper from India. So I'm going to see, like, read these two paper, and if they are really useful to you, then I will upload them. Okay. Can you see? I think I have the screen share. Still, I'm sharing this.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you
Yes, ma'am.
see
Yes,
the
ma'am.
paper which I have downloaded? This is from Italy. So what they are saying, SARS-CoV-2 virus is a member of coronavirus family and is responsible for the pandemic recently declared by the whatever. A positive correlation has been observed between the spread of the virus and the air pollution, one of the greatest challenge of our millennium. COVID-19 could have an air transmission, and atmospheric particulate PM could create a suitable environment for transporting the virus at a greater distance than those considered for close contact. Okay, so let's see how they have correlated. Established annual average January, February, PM. Okay, they have taken the PM10 data and PM2.5 data, but how? What is the technique they have used to correlate? Mm, Only concentration is given. Graph showing the comparison between PM2.5 concentration this Milan during January to February, COVID-19 positive growth in this and this Milan for from late February to March. Okay. Hmm. What is the x-axis and what is the y-axis? So this is strange. They don't write the x-axis and y-axis. COVID-19 positive rate growth in this. So how this is related to the air pollution is reducing, right, in March, and this is increasing. How can you say they are correlated? And this is published already. Hmm. So let me see. If I find this paper, you can say good one, and having some good hypothesis, and they have proved the hypothesis correctly, then I will upload it. Otherwise, I will not do that. Okay, thank you very much. Is there any other question? No? So let's meet tomorrow. Okay? Thank you. Bye. I have to download the attendance. It was there. It should be here only. How come it's not showing up? Participants. Okay, maybe when I will leave the class, it will show. Okay, you can log out. So I will download the attendance. Okay, log out from the portal. Please log out. Then only I would be able to join. Yeah. So yeah, log out. Please log out. Then only I will get the attendance. No, I'm not getting the attendance download option yet. Yeah. Thank you very much for